Hello. Quick video reviewing one bottle today because this is already going up like 3 days late. So we're doing Shakara, 12-year-old from Thailand, brought in by the Vellier folks. Now, the very kind person who sent me this bottle did put some incriminating information on it, so I'm not going to show you the sample bottle, but I do have this little cool swaggy sticker here. There you go. And I'm going to set this up on one of my water cups, and there's your bit of visual interest for the video. Never say I don't give you anything. All right, so to talk about why Shakara is interesting, I have to kind of explain a paradox in the contemporary rum market. So worldwide, the most popular style of rum is molasses-based, large column distilled, bourbon barrel, or American oak at least, barrel-aged rum, roughly coming out of the Cuban style. There's tons of stuff made. It's made everywhere around the world. What's strange is if you go out looking for like a good version of this, a version of this that's well made, that's unadulterated, hasn't had any sugar or colorant or anything dumped in, and is relatively well presented, like say, I mean, well, Shakara here is I think 45.7 or something, so about 45. Like, if those are your requirements, you really have to dig to find stuff. There's a couple of independent bottlings, non-distillery bottlings out there, but especially if you're looking for like official bottlings of like well-presented column still molasses-based rum, there's just not that much out there. And that's where Shakara is interesting to me. Well, it's interesting for a couple of reasons. Number one, because the name, it shares a name with an absolutely banging Fela Kuti album. Now, the press release from the Vellier folks will tell you that this is, Shakara comes from Shakara, which is the Sanskrit word for sugar. This is suspicious to me, however, because Sanskrit and Thai are completely different language branches, or language families. So in my headcanon, I choose to believe that the folks at Vellier and all the rum producers in Thailand are completely huge Fela Kuti fans, and I can see nothing that'll make me think differently at this point. But yeah, the main point of interest, if you are not, I don't think this was a great idea, if you are not a huge Fela Kuti fan, is that this is, yeah, it's a molasses-based, and it's all Thai molasses. It's all sourced from local cane, which is awesome. Molasses-based, large column distilled, bourbon barrel matured rum, but it's got an actual age statement. It hasn't had any sugar or color dumped into it, and it's been bottled at a healthy 45.7% alcohol. Could it be higher? Sure, absolutely. I could ask more from this all day. But if you were looking for a better example in that style, here it is. Now, MSRP is like 40, 50 bucks, which, yeah, is not cheap, but I mean, yeah, try finding something else in the style. All right, enough of my blabbing. Let's get stuck into this. I did try another Thai rum. Well, there was Shalong Bay, which is awesome, but a completely different style. But a bottling from Compagnie des Andes a couple of years ago, which I wasn't super duper fond of. I'm guessing it was coming from the same plant as this. But this is older and it's bottled at higher strength, so expectations are high. On the nose, I mean, you're getting that kind of RC cola and banana peel thing, which is very, very common in this style of rum. But there's a lot of detail here, which makes it a lot more fun. Yeah, there's a healthy amount of herbaceousness going on here. There's some like basil, but not fresh basil. This is like dried basil. Fennel, of course, it's a rum. It needs to throw fennel at me. What is that? Cardamom, certainly. Cinnamon. A lot of deep, heavy oaky notes. Yeah, vanilla. Just like barrel char, wood chips. Yeah, what's really intriguing me is that kind of herbaceousness, but it's not fresh herbs. These are dried herbs. There's a little bit of dried mint, which is actually quite different from fresh mint. Go buy yourself a batch of dried mint. It's one of the few herbs where I actually prefer to use the dried version. I feel like it has more punch. Maybe some parsley. Why does this keep falling? Stay. And so yeah, it's RC cola and banana peel, the herbs and the oak, and that's really about it. It's not super duper complicated, but it's hitting things in the right sort of way. Maybe a little bit of prune in there too. It's nice. Okay, on the palate. Ooh. Yeah. A lot of oak, a lot of bitterness in the back end, but like good bitterness. This is dry. Yeah. In some ways, this reminds me of, it's like a halfway in between a decent aged Cuba and some of the crazier stuff from Trinidad, the Angosturas, in the independent Angosturas. It's somewhere in that territory, but it's also got kind of its own thing going on. Hold on. Rives definitely on that kind of RC cola banana peel thing. Rolling with some figs, definitely some cinnamon, clove, cardamom. And then as it rolls back, you get these kind of really serious, like burned wood, toasted nutshell, overstewed English breakfast tea kinds of notes. Well, overstewed assam, I should say, sorts of notes. Again, very, very drawing, very, very woody, but not out of balance. This absolutely kind of maintains what it's doing pretty well. Really, there's a little bit of it like a coconut. Oh, absolutely. There's like a coconut, but also like a coconut milk kind of note going on here. Maybe this is just my, closet racism going on. But yeah, there's a little bit of a coconut and coconut milk thing going on. The more I sort of pay attention to the mid palate, there's that herbaceous character I talked about. Really not any mint, but yeah, definitely some basil, parsley happening, even a little bit of cilantro in there. Mouth presence, not bad. I mean, it doesn't have the weight of, some column distilled Jamaican monster, but given the style, yeah, it's holding on pretty well. What's really holding on is the kind of woody bitterness in the back end, that dryness, but the kind of fruit, little bit of like a cherry bubblegum thing up front. It's pretty brief, but it's there. But the fruit and kind of the other accessory flavors are kind of holding on reasonably well, pretty too. Mouth presence is okay. It's getting back into my throat a little bit. The mouthfeel is nice. Solid. It's not, this. I don't feel like Vellier was like swinging for the fences with this one, but at this point, it feels like a solid base hit. So I'm gonna give this some water. I'll come back to it in a second. All right. Yeah, it really is kind of a weird thing that there just isn't a lot of, well presented bottlings in this kind of style. This sort of broadly Cuban sort of approach. It seems like every week there's some new crazy cane juice monster or pot distilled Jamaican thing out there, or something completely out of the wild. But yeah, someone actually doing this basic style well, that's a lot more rare. And don't tell me, like, I know there's a prejudice in the rum community to kind of look down on this style of rum. Don't do that. Like, if you think this style cannot produce good rums, go hunt down some of the stuff coming out of Angostura, well, independent bottlings of Angostura, anyways. Even some of the higher proof Cuban bottlings that cannot technically be bottled as presented as Cuban rum. Caroni is a different kind of approach, but yeah, sure, why not? That Caroni thing. There's even those industrial notes that Caroni is particularly known for can show up in just about any. In fact, they're a little bit here. There's just a little bit of like a dirty pencil eraser character on the palate in this. Not so much on the nose. So anyways, I would love to see some more people take this style and kind of run with it and just make better presented offerings, because I sure would love to make Cuba Libres that are not completely anemic, wouldn't you? All right, anyways, let's go back to this, get a final grade. All right, on the nose now that I've added water. I'm not expecting a huge amount of change with water, but we'll see. Actually, it's the cane that comes out, or really a kind of cane syrup thing. If you've never bought yourself a bottle of Steen's cane syrup to put on pancakes and stuff, you were missing out. Go do that. So really, the RC Cola meets banana note is being overcome by Steen's, and that's okay. Yeah, I do like the herbaceousness on this. It's a fun little bit of color in a style that often doesn't have a lot of color to it. Yeah, nice. Not extraordinary, not stunning, not a home run by any means, but nice. On the palate. Actually, yeah. Again, brings out a little bit of a cane syrup note, not as much as on the nose, but it also brings out more spices. Definitely more cardamom, a little bit of allspice happening now, more cinnamon, and a little bit of that kind of fun industrial note that you can get on this style of rum. So it's that little bit of dirty pencil eraser is still there, but it's also like, maybe someone just did a burnout in an old Challenger next door, and you're kind of smelling the or tasting, I guess, the burn. I don't know where I was going. It's a little bit more industrial than it was before. Yeah, solid, very nice. I'm stuck between an 82 and an 83. No, I'm not going to screw this. I'm going to give this an 83. 83 points for Shakara 12. Now, you might say, well, hang on, this is 40 or 50 bucks retail. That's a fair bit of money for something that's only getting 83 points. And you know, I mean, I feel you. I feel that. I don't think you're necessarily wrong not to skip this one over. But the other side of that is find me the competition. Find me like the other molasses-based, column distilled, bourbon barrel aged rums that have real age statements, no sugar, and are bottled at decent proof. Find me that at better pricing, and I will absolutely thank you for it because I've been looking for that for years. Anyways, yeah, good solid rum. This is absolutely one to look out for. I'm enjoying it, and well done to all involved. So, I don't know what to say to close this. I will put the Fellow Kuti track down below somewhere. Go listen to that as well. Thanks for watching, and cheers.